Yo, what's up YouTube family? It's your boy Koozie back at you with another hot TikTok reaction video. Tonight we're going to be doing some creepy and strange TikTok reactions. If you're new to the channel, go ahead, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. That is if you like the videos, so you'll be notified whenever I drop some new fire content that you definitely don't want to miss. Oh yeah, these videos are for entertainment purposes only. Don't believe anything you hear or see in these videos. Don't believe anything that I say in these videos. Always do your own research and always use your own discernment. And y'all, don't forget to hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe. Let's get
What is ether? Ether is a unique essence of life force energy that flows through the universe and most of existence. The source of quintessence, chi, aura, and mana. It is the mystical celestial element that is also known as the fifth element: fire, water, earth, air, and ether. In Plato's Timaeus, speaking on the topic of air, Plato mentions that they are the most translucent kind, which is called by the name of ether. One claim is that the ether is the pure essence that the mythological gods lived and breathed in the same way humans did with air. Another claim is that the ether is a force used by God himself to create the universe. Another reference would be in the Hermeticist book, the Kabbalion, that not only explains its nature, but the plane it comes from. There have been many claims and theories made by alchemists, philosophers, and scientists, such as Nikola Tesla and Dayton Miller, that confirm the ether's existence. Ether is the medium for every electromagnetic wave, from radio waves to gamma rays. Ether exists in elemental, cosmic, and spiritual forces. This is also recorded in the Kabbalion's entries.
There's a theory of...
one thing right quick, y'all. Take note of what he said, that they think that's what God used to create everything in the universe. You know, everything living, everything. Let's get it. Keep that
ether. And what the theory of ether states is that this space, this air that we see nothing in, is actually something. It's a transmission medium. It is, maybe even some sort of systematic webbing. It's something that we don't see is there, but it's connecting all of us. This makes sense as to why distance healing can work, why people can feel each other on opposite ends of the planet. And science hasn't been able to prove ether. And when that happens, science tries to disprove ether. They've not been able to do that either. So the only thing they've been able to prove is that if there is something such as ether, that it doesn't act like 3D matter. So how could we test it if we're testing in the 3D mindset, right?
About to get deep. If y'all just jumped on and y'all was thinking about leaving, I definitely wouldn't do it because it's finna get deep and real good. Let's get it. Let's go do it.
Who says that?
With that, y'all gotta also think about the pyramids or the Tartarian Empire, the Tartarians, you know, and their ancient technology or their lost technology, we should say. You know, it's kind of the same thing, you know, and we know where that came from, you know, but in a way, but like, that's, you know, it's crazy, man. It all runs hand in hand together. It's crazy though, man. Let's get it though, y'all. Let me know what y'all think about that down below in the comment section. This is about the ether energy, free energy.
It has to be flat or a ball. You're thinking three-dimensional shapes only. Yet you understand a four-dimensional cube. You understand that there's infrared and ultraviolet and things out of our perception. So why are we only thinking in 3 dimensions when we know that our perception's limited and we can understand the 4D cube and what 5D spheres would look like?
Did you know that Dmitry Mendeleev, the original creator of the periodic table of elements, originally intended for aether to be included in the table? In fact, before the dominance of the irrational world of quantum mechanics, aether theory was believed by the most brilliant scientists of all time, including Isaac Newton, Nikola Tesla, James Clerk Maxwell, and Sir William Crookes. According to these great minds, aether was an all-pervading medium through which light and other electromagnetic waves could propagate. It was envisioned as a medium that fills the vacuum of space, providing a substance through which light and other waves could travel. Aether theory portrayed the universe as a harmonious cosmic symphony. Contrast this with the seemingly dissonant cacophony of quantum theory, which presents a cold and meaningless chaotic universe. Is it possible that physicists were too quick to disregard aether theory and simply replaced it with terms like dark matter?
Did you know the periodic table once held secrets that...
I was thinking the same thing. Maybe ether and dark matter or antimatter. I don't know. Dark matter, antimatter, and ether. Maybe it's the same thing. Maybe it's I gotta look at antimatter and dark matter. Is it the same thing? Antimatter. I don't know. I got to do my research on that one. But yeah, I was thinking it all ran hand in hand though. Y'all let me
challenge our understanding of the universe? Let's rewind to 1908, a pivotal year when the fabric of science was woven with threads of controversy and discovery. Among these threads was ether, an element believed to permeate all space, providing a medium for light waves to travel. Unlike anything else on the periodic table, ether represented the bridge between the known and the unknown, suggesting a universe far more complex than previously imagined. But here's where it gets intriguing. Experiments conducted during that era, including the famous Michelson-Morley experiment, hinted at an Earth that was stationary, with the cosmos moving around it. These findings supported the existence of ether, challenging the very foundations of physics as we knew it. So, why isn't ether discussed in today's science classes? Shortly after 1908, amidst heated debates and revolutionary discoveries, ether quietly vanished from the periodic table. Some say it was due to the rise of Einstein's theories of relativity, which rendered the concept of ether unnecessary. But questions linger. Was ether a casualty of scientific progress, or is there more to its disappearance? Could the concept of a stationary Earth and a moving cosmos still hold merit in unseen ways?
Or is there not an ether? And the double-slit quantum theory answer the question of whether the ether exists. Even today, most physicists still do not believe that the ether exists. There was a Scottish physicist, Maxwell, who wrote 20 very complicated quaternion mathematical formulas to prove that the ether does exist. Think of it as a fluid, but not in the liquid sense. It's a fluid that is everywhere in the universe, but we can't measure it, or we have difficulty measuring it. Newtonian physicists, the classical physicists, because they can't measure it, they come to the conclusion, well, then it doesn't exist. And Einstein said it doesn't exist either, you see. The problem is they haven't been able to figure out how to measure it to prove that it does exist. We're getting scientists now proving that it does exist.
I don't know how real that clip was. Y'all take it with a grain of salt. But if it is real, man, it's something magnificent, man. We know where it came from. Once again, it's crazy. Let's get it.
This was how the buildings of the old world was powered, harnessing the free energy from the ether above. This is displayed here in a mountain in Saudi Arabia, and in the right conditions, you too can experience the power of the ether at your fingertips. Free and unlimited energy all around us. Yet free and energy are two words that'll never go together for the elites today. There is no profit in combining those two words. It is a big part alone why so much of our past has been deliberately hidden. It's profits over people in today's world. It used to be the exact opposite. Question everything, friends.
What y'all think about that clip?
So y'all know about Tartaria, right? This great Tartaria who had giants living among men using energy from the sky. I mean, what all do they have? We know all the pictures, the skies are whited out for a reason. What all did they have? And what was the cataclysm that took them out? Because there was a cataclysm there, but we just don't know what it was.
Like I said, you know, that answers y'all's question for the ones who in the comment section, or who was gonna hit the comment section up like, man, you keep saying we know who they come from, we know where they come from, that technology, you know what, that answers your question right there. When we talk about the giants, and we know where the giants come from, you know what I'm saying? So come on now. Yeah, do your research. I don't think I have to break it all the way down for you, right? If I do, just let me know I do that for you. I ain't tripping. Let's get it though.
Was there at one time an ancient energy grid that covered the entire planet? This may sound insane, but if you look at some of the most advanced modern antenna design, it looks hauntingly similar to what we see at the tops of the spires of many of the world's cathedrals. According to official history, around 1200 AD, a mysterious group showed up in Europe known as the Cathedral Builders. This elite guild of masons had special privileges to travel all over Europe. Is it possible they were setting up some type of communication system? A fractal antenna is one of the most advanced modern antennas often used in devices like cell phones. A fractal antenna uses self-similar design to maximize the material that can receive or transmit electromagnetic signals. As mentioned before, the tops of these cathedrals look exactly like fractal antennas. For more information, look up ancient fractal antennas.
Something to check out, y'all. I don't know, man. I don't know. It don't look real to me. I think it's CGI. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. I don't think you would see the energy like that. But then again, hey, I don't know much about this. Yeah, that was crazy.
Why does it just look so dry? It don't have no fractals in it, no nothing. When you see these old buildings in this dramatic, in this structure, they look like the grid, computer grids. And I'm like, oh, those were natural grids. So with these computers in these lots, maybe they're just doing artificial grids. And that's a US patent down there that lets you know that they're antennas. So when you see these old buildings built like this, it wasn't because, oh, it's for show. Even when you look at the old churches, like, you know how they say piercing through the veil, and everything is symbology, because most folks hear about piercing through the veil, you might think like some curtains getting snatched down, but I feel like it's symbolic because the light pierces through at certain times. But I don't know, we ain't gonna go too deep in on that. You see these folks riding around in scooters. What type of batteries was they using? Was it the same batteries that they got them slaving for in the Congo? That Tesla got all these folks doing all this labor? Got them in bondage right now. People want to talk about, oh, slavery. Slavery didn't exist. Yeah, it did. It's going on right now, all over the planet. But it really ain't slavery. It's just these people become prisoners of war. That's just the reality of it. But no matter what terminology you want to put on it, this planet is going through bondage of a low source or a low entity. That's why they say, oh, don't pay attention to Miami. Don't pay. That's fake. It's fake. But don't worry about that. They don't want you to know they the only people. They don't want you to know that there's other people, other things, other beings that are more powerful than this government, bro. And when you even thinking about contacts with other terrestrial beings or other beings on different planes, that was way more possible 200, 300, 400 years ago because of just how we had the atmosphere of the planet. It's like they knocked all these tops down, these domes down to lower the frequency on the realm, bro. Then we can't connect. And if we do try to connect, what? They got them phone lines to send energy different ways, and it's like they bring the grid from inside the planet out. Like, bro, this makes no sense. Look at that building behind them. Why are they there? This makes no sense, bro.
No, damn well they ain't built that.
Look at that door. Oh my goodness. And each one got a different design, bro. It's not the same copy and paste. I'm gone, man. I'm gone. It's interesting though.
And in that clip, basically what he was breaking down is how did they have the knowledge to build or architect some, a scope, something like that, a building like that, but y'all don't have the technology or the knowledge to, make, produce better vehicles or better transportation than that. And that's crazy. They're still driving horse and buggy, but they have like brick and mortar buildings almost with exquisite architecture, like design. Like, come on, man. It makes sense. The proof is in the pudding. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Like I always say, don't fall for the boo-boo, man. Let's get it.
This was not built by
today, even if we wanted to. I'm telling you, we couldn't do this now today.
There's an energy all around us. The free energy. Energy of the atmosphere. And it's been called many other things. Chi. The nature's energy. A lot of things. But many people refer to it as the aether. And in the 1800s, many books were written on this mysterious fluid, as they called it. Now, some people say they were referring to electricity, but many others will point to places like these stupas, as they called them. And you look at these ornate rods that come off the top, and to be told that these were purely ornamental, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. In modern times, we would say that might be a lightning rod or something to that effect, because that's pretty much the only thing comparable. But in a way, they are much like lightning rods, because lightning rods in the 1800s were used for the same purpose as these stupas, to collect the atmospheric energy. There's just so much to this whole thing. How do they work? Why do they work? Are we going to see churches are of the same effect as stupas? And there's many buildings around the world purely built to harness this energy from the atmosphere. And it's all been covered up.
Okay, that's the word I was looking for. Instead of saying roofs being funny, it was the word stupas. And you know what I'm saying? I seen the lightning rods, but I was looking for the word stupas. That's the correct terminology. Okay, let me know what y'all think about that clip though down below. Let's get it.
Look at the old buildings from the old world, the sacred buildings. They used to have these brass balls and they loaded them up with mercury and they'd put them real high up so that they could gather atmospheric energy, which is free energy. The higher you go up, the more energy that's up there. And they would run, for example, a copper wire down into their home and they could use that if they wanted free energy or to light their light bulbs or whatever things that they had in the home. A lot of this is never disclosed because, for example, when we look at all of these things from the past, we start to look at a lot of things were about electrical conductivity. Look at that. They all look like conductors, right? Sacred buildings looking like conductors. They're built like conductors. There's free energy right there. Free energy right there. But the thing is they changed all the history to make it look like everybody was fighting each other. It was medieval. People were going against each other. But in reality, I think the hidden history of the past is very different than what we've been taught.
Dang, I see they love this clip. I bet y'all be like, man, he love this clip.
Going to blow your mind. I learned that this was a seasonal clock, and it is, but you have to look at it from a different lens. This is what sound looks like going through water. This is Stonehenge. It is built on top of an aquifer. So, who else builds their things on top of water? Well, I showed you in the last video that pretty much everybody builds their best stuff on top of water, even Tesla. Light goes through it. Light can melt the hardest things on the planet when focused, and when used for communication, it's the fastest way to do that. It looks like a pattern of sound. Sound travels fastest through solids and can destroy cities if it's a big enough wave. Sound is a bigger wave than light. Sound can move mediums it passes through, like water, and bend the light. That's how we get cymatic images. You can see this in the twinkling of stars as well. Our technology sends ones and zeros through light. Let's pretend everything around us is made of a very unique vibration that can be expressed in a frequency. Or you can grow crops with it.
Hey, something to feed your mind. Definitely not. It's definitely not, man. I seen another video where they placed like a frozen something, like a frozen pyramid inside of some water, and then they froze it. It was a water or salt water? Yeah, it was salt water, and then they froze it. No, they let the water evaporate or dry up, and the salt crystals, they formed just like the pyramid. It's crazy. Y'all should go check that out. It was tight. Let me know what y'all think about that clip down below in the comment section.
Free energy theory in 15 seconds. In classical mechanics, empty space is just empty space. In quantum mechanics, no space is truly empty. Fluctuating fields and constant motion exist everywhere, with particles that act like waves which blink in and out of existence, a process that requires energy that exists everywhere in the fabric of space around us, which we theoretically harness for our own needs.
Good one, huh?
Ancient Ethiopia is absolutely covered in fractal antennas. Fractal antennas are utilized in some of the world's most advanced technology. These antennas leverage intricate geometric patterns to enhance the transmission and reception of electromagnetic waves. If we were to take an array of fractal antennas and surround a quartz crystal and pulse frequencies into this array using a signal generator, we can generate frequencies well above the terahertz range. Quartz crystal is a piezoelectric material, meaning it can generate an electric charge when subjected to mechanical stress or pressure. Conversely, when an electric charge is applied to quartz, it undergoes mechanical deformation. These deformations occur at a frequency range of almost 90 million hertz. Many of these ancient crosses used to contain various gemstones and quartz crystals. What did the ancient Ethiopians know?
Whew. Obviously more than what we did, right? I don't know, man. Crazy world.
Here's another test to show.
Woo! I remember my scientist days, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm just playing. Now, when I was a young kid, man, I used to be really into like science experiments and stuff like that, especially like electricity and stuff like that. That was pretty interesting though, man. But I thought he had, man, that's crazy. He put his hand there. I thought, man, it's crazy, man. I thought his hand was gonna get stuck in there, man. It kind of freaked me out for a second, man. Let me know. Did you kind of think that too? Let me know down below in the comment section, cause I thought he was tripping a little bit at first.
What's up, TikTok? So I'm doing an experiment that I've been wanting to do for a while, and it's measuring the ether or the voltage in the air. And I've got a setup and a little bit of light left. I wanted to show y'all what I've got going on here. So I got my multimeter. The red lead is hooked up to the ground wire. I got the ground rod over there. Black lead is hooked up to a 50-foot spool of 26 gauge magnet wire. And it is actually hooked up to a carbon fiber rod that I've sanded down and got bare copper touching it, hooked up to some balloons. So I'm going to be measuring. I have the wire marked at every 10 feet. And so I'm going to measure the voltage at 10 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet, and 40 feet. So I'm going to document this, and I'll be posting the video in a few minutes. Okay, bye. What's up, TikTok? I currently have a set of balloons. I'm running out of daylight here, but I have a carbon rod hooked up to those balloons and the wire connected down to my multimeter. And it is grounded into my ground rod. I'm running out of daylight, but right now I'm about 30 feet in the air. I have the wire marked every 10 feet. I'm currently at 24, 27 volts. And I'll show you what happens when I start pulling it down. So right now, I have about 50 feet of wire that I can uncoil, but I'm not going to tonight. I'll do it when I have more daylight. But here's what happens when I start pulling it down. So now here it goes down. Now we're about 15 feet. About still about 10 feet. Down even further. So as I pull it down, it gets less voltage that is absorbing from the atmosphere. Turn the light back on. So now we're at roughly probably 6 feet above my head. And now I'll let the wire go, and you can watch it climb. The higher you go up, the more energy you get. Alright, anyway, I'll make another video tomorrow when I have more light, but that's what they mean when you're harvesting energy from the ether. The higher you go up, the more voltage you get. That's AC current, 21.5 volts. I'm about 25, 30 feet above my head. Anyway, cheers.
Woo, man, you learn something new every day. I hope y'all was paying attention.
Using a fractal design not only made antennas smaller, but enabled them to receive a much wider range of frequencies.
Using fractals, experimentally, I came up with a very wideband antenna, and then I worked backwards and said, why is it working this way? What is it about nature that requires you to use the fractal to get there? The result of that work was a mathematical theorem that showed if you want to get something that works as an antenna over a very wide range of frequencies, You need to have self-similarity. It has to be fractal in its shape to make it work. Now that was an exact solution. It wasn't like, oh, here's a way of doing it, and there's a lot of other ways of doing it. It turned out mathematically, we were able to demonstrate that was the only technique you could use to get there.
Today, fractal antennas are used in tens of millions of cell phones and other wireless communication devices all over the
An antenna generates gain by focusing signal that would otherwise radiate in unwanted directions towards the desired direction. As the gain increases, the beam gets stronger and narrower. We describe the gain of antenna in decibels. Each time the signal strength doubles, the gain in decibels increases by 3. But how can we describe the pattern of the beam? There are two ways to describe the radiation pattern. If we draw a graph of signal strength against direction, we get something like this. Directly ahead, which we'll think of as 0 degrees, we have a gain of 9 decibels. To the sides and behind, we have effectively no signal at all. We've drawn this as minus 9 decibels. The common way to provide this data is to wrap the graph up into a circle, hence polar diagrams. The diagram we've drawn here shows the radiation pattern in the horizontal plane. To fully describe the radiation pattern of an antenna, we also need to take the side view, called the
I don't know why it's cutting off like that. That ain't me, y'all. That's the clip. That's how it was. I don't know about y'all, but every time I see those shapes, you know, I think of sacred geometry. Maybe fractal antennas and sacred geometry. Well, I can say maybe. Obviously, they go hand in hand, right? You see the shapes. Let me know what y'all think down below in the comment section.
There is a mysterious resemblance between the ancient religious iconography such as the Ethiopian cross and the Tibetan Sri Yantra design and highly advanced fractal antennas, the same antennas used in some of our most advanced technology like cell phones. Both the Ethiopian cross and the Tibetan Sri Yantra exhibit complex fractal patterns. Fractal antennas are known for their ability to maximize signal reception and transmission, making them highly efficient in communication systems. Ethiopian kings are the only ones that can trace their lineage back to King Solomon. Moreover, rumors have existed for centuries that the Ark of the Covenant exists within Ethiopia. It is speculated that survivors of the Atlantis catastrophe concealed their advanced technology within religious symbolism as a means of protection and secrecy. The Ethiopian cross and Sri Yantra design hold remnants of this ancient knowledge. We'll find many more examples as technology begins to rapidly accelerate.
Most definitely we will.
Polar or unipolar generator. The Faraday generator provides the basis for much of what is being done today in the electromagnetic approach to free energy, such as with Bruce De Palma's In Machine and Paramahamsa Tiwari's space-powered generator. Repeated experiments have detected anomalous electrical outputs greater than that used to rotate the disk. But friction and voltage limitations have hampered efficiency and therefore widespread acceptance. James Clerk Maxwell, best known for his Maxwell's equations, is reputed to have set things straight with his theories of electrical properties in a way that eliminates zero-point energy. But Maxwell's more advanced work allowed for the existence of an ether, a substance finer than air, which since the time of Plato had been considered a scientific fact.
The prevailing belief of the time was that the vacuum was a thin material fluid, the so-called material ether, which we know today is false. The ether is there, but it's not the observable material fluid. Faraday had re-established this notion of lines of force, but he thought the electromagnetic field or the electromagnetic disturbances in the ether, so to speak, was really twanging strings. The strings were under tension, and when you had a disturbance, what you really did was pluck the strings. Now, Maxwell states very clearly that he set about to actually capture exactly what Faraday was doing in his lines of force in the theory, and that's what he did. Maxwell's actual theory is 20 equations and 20 unknowns in quaternions, which is a higher topology algebra. You can do things in that you can't dream of in doing in tensors, and you certainly can't do in vectors, and you certainly can't do with the theory that's taught at our universities. All that remains to be rediscovered and uncovered.
The now famous Michelson-Morley experiment at the turn of the century failed to detect a stationary ether, so classical physics presumed once and for all that it did not exist. The case was closed until quantum mechanics reopened the discussion, allowing for a new interpretation of how matter interacts with a zero-point field.
Most of our scientific community actually believes that empty space, the nature of space itself, is completely empty, devoid of anything. And historically, it's very interesting because in the 1800s and even earlier, they believed there was an ether, an all-pervading substance filling up space. And in 1905, when relativity theory became very popular, they said, well, we don't need this ether. It's empty space is empty. Then 25 years or 20 years later, 1925, when quantum mechanics comes into play, all of a sudden, a new energy appears in equations of quantum mechanics, and it has to be there to make the equations work, and it has to do with fluctuations of electromagnetic field energy at a very high frequency that interacts with everything. And they called this the zero-point energy, and it turns out that all the elementary particles interact with this energy, and it becomes a potential energy source. That's what we're discovering today.
Ooh, man, that's crazy, man. So it seemed like for a long time we just been going with the flow, man. We ain't really been knowing what was going on with this stuff. We just been going with, you know what I'm saying, he say, she say, and the word of mouth, man. By the time somebody get, you know what I'm saying, some actual factual stuff going on, let's get it. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that clip in the comment section.
There is no energy in matter other than that received from the environment. Today's scientists have substituted mathematics for experiments, and they wander off through equation after equation and eventually build a structure which has no relation to reality. Now, what is the ether? Some think of it as a firmament, which our universe exists within. Yes, just like the firmament spoken of in the Bible book of Genesis. Tesla said a good example for such an interaction becomes apparent in gravitation, which should rather be named universal compression. I think the material bodies do not gravitate between each other, but it is the ether that makes one material body to press to another. We wrongly call this phenomenon gravitation. The stars, planets, and all the universe appeared from the ether, when some part of it, due to certain reasons, became less dense. Einstein's theories were based on the non-existence of the ether. What is not presented much in media is that Einstein himself doubted his theories on multiple occasions. In 1920 he said, but on the other hand, there is a weighty argument to be adduced in favor of the ether hypothesis. To deny the ether is ultimately to assume that empty space has no physical quality whatsoever. The fundamental facts of quantum mechanics do not harmonize with this view. Recapitulating, we may say that according to the general theory of relativity, space is endowed with physical qualities. In this sense, therefore, there exists an ether. According to the general theory of relativity, space without ether is unthinkable. For in such space, there not only would be no propagation of light, but also no possibility of existence for standards of space and time, measuring rods and clocks, nor therefore any space-time intervals in the physical sense. Media presents the idea of Einstein-based mathematics as fact. We are told that this is concrete and that the entire scientific community is in total agreement. This could not be farther from the truth. In fact, calling it mathematics at all is misleading. These are theories with no absolutes. There are two divided camps, one that believes there is an ether and one that doesn't. All we are presented with on television is the theories that rely on no ether existing and then replacing the ether with things like dark matter to try to make all the theories work. So what is modern science? the belief in theories based on a man who doubted his own theories, which incorporate dark matter, which these scientists are not even sure exists. What am I trying to say here? Science does not give you or have all the answers. When you hang on every word of people like Stephen Hawking, know that there are many people whom are just as brilliant who completely disagree with them.
Man, that was deep, man. So they tell you, man, they tried to say that Einstein had debunked old Tesla, but he couldn't debunk old Tesla. Tesla was the head honcho. He was that guy, man. Y'all let me know what y'all got out of that down below in the comment section. And with that said, that's the end of the video, man. I appreciate you if you still here kicking it with your boy Koozie, man. Y'all don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the comment section, and hit the notification button or bell on y'all way out so you'll be notified whenever I drop some new hot content. You know what I'm saying? Catch your next video. I'm out. Holla.